Hello, everyone, and welcome again to Leaders Uncut. It is my great pleasure today to have with us Joseph Reinke, who is the CEO and founder at Fitbux. How are you, Joseph, today?
I'm doing good. Glad to be here. So thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here. I can't wait for you to talk to us about what you're doing with Fitbux. Maybe you can start by giving us a little bit of feedback, and not feedback, but information on your experience, your background, why you studied Fitbux. It would be great to start there.
Yeah, so I started in the world of money and the world of finance when I was really young. I did my first investments when I was about 12 years old. My thing was I always wanted to learn investments because I wanted to do whatever I wanted to do and just take my money and know what I'm doing with it. And that's how I can build wealth, but at the same time I can do whatever I want to, which was for me playing sports. Long story short, got out of college, wasn't going to be playing sports professionally, decided not to work in professional sports. And my first, entry into the financial services industry, because I was like, I know money, I might as well go do this, was actually in mortgages, and that was in 2007. All right, so right
Wow.
before the housing crisis
Yeah.
really took spotlight is when I got in the mortgage industry, and I deal with individuals because we were doing refinances for people. And I can't tell you how many people I would talk to that were like 40, 50, 60 years old that were having their rates go adjustable, couldn't afford them, like trying to refinance out of them, but couldn't. So they're getting foreclosed on. I mean, I worked with like a 60-year-old couple that had been in their house for 30 something years and were
Wow.
losing it because of these mortgages. So,
Yeah.
that was just a debacle. And then right after that, I went into wealth management and I just started seeing how many people were paying for financial advice. They'd have advisors, maybe they're 50 years old, having advisors for 10, 15 years, paying them 3, 4 grand, and not being anywhere near being able to hit retirement goals of like 60 years old. And I'm like, how does this happen? Like, what's going on here? So I started doing a lot of behavioral research and a lot of different things in finance, research wise, and figured out basically the only way to solve these issues is technology. Because even as a financial planner, there's too many moving parts. We can't put everything together in our head. Just to think about this, like if you have 7 life events, there's over 5,000 combination and permutations of what you can do. It's like you need help with AI or algorithms or whatever it is to help build that. And then we need an easy way to show that to you, the user. So
Mm-hmm.
basically, that's how I came up with the idea to use AI to develop financial plans, make it much more affordable, make it trustworthy. You don't have to worry about like being pushed into annuities or life insurance or in a mortgage you don't need. And so that's where we're at, and a little bit of background and
Yeah, no, that's
what
very
influenced me to go this
interesting.
route.
Of course, I mean you're smart. You're starting to utilize AI and technology to improve services that can benefit or that will benefit your audiences. Now, as you know, some people love AI, some people don't understand AI, some people are scared. It's like, I don't want anything to do with AI, right? Please. So I think it would help if you explained the major benefits that people have thanks to your solutions here, and how easy it is for them to change their current investment setup, because people are worried about that too. Is it going to be complicated? Am I going to understand it? If you could touch on that, I think it would be very helpful.
Well, that's the cool part about AI in the sense of what we're doing. So it's not like generative AI that you see on like ChatGPT that people are really afraid of. Like
Yeah.
this type of AI, I see it in marketing and stuff as well, but this is what I call good AI that makes something affordable that wasn't affordable before. It's just like any other technology, right? Like you have when cars first came out, they were unaffordable to everybody. And then as technology got better, now they're affordable, right? So right now, financial planning, financial services, all these things, one, they're not affordable, and two, they're not efficient. Oftentimes,
Mm.
there's a lot of bias involved in it. So
Yeah.
every time you want something, you have to go to that specific industry. So like if you want a mortgage, you got to go to a mortgage broker. If you want investments, investment advisor. If you want, credit cards, credit card company. If you want insurance, insurance, and you're supposed to put all these pieces together yourself. And it's like that's highly inefficient and very costly.
Yeah.
And so what AI basically allows us to do is put all those things together. very simply and very easily, and then running scenarios so you can see exactly what's going to happen if I do this versus this versus this. And then we can show you in an easy to understand way. So like currently, if you go to a financial planner and you get a financial plan, they'll give you like a 40 to 100 page PDF of information. And it's
Yeah.
like, that's useless. So with AI and technology, we're able to very easily show what's going to happen on a user interface instead of all this information. And if you want more details, you can get it. So that's one example on like the planning side. Another example on like the investment side of the world. As an investment advisor, we're supposed to invest for people based on their ability to take risk.
Mm-hmm.
And up until today, there's never really been a way to quantify that. So based on our algorithms and a lot of our AI, we've been able to quantify that number.
Mm-hmm.
And what that now does is open up the world for you as an individual to get really good advice. And what I mean by that is, like, if you have a 401k, you're not going to get an advisor to help you on that because they're not the fiduciary on that account. So now, like, if my 401k is at Fidelity, I got to go to a Fidelity advisor that knows nothing about me, and it's probably some young 20-year-old that is just reading some cookie cutter thing to put you in.
Yeah.
Right. And even if I go to an investment advisor for like my Roth IRAs and stuff, they're not taking into account debt. They're not taking into account my family situation. They're not taking into account my income, none of that. And so AI and technology allows us to do that. But then the cool part that we're working on next for that part of our technology is where we can tell you based on that situation, you're taking on too much risk or not enough risk. And these are the accounts and the funds to move them to. Move this to your 401k, move this in your Roth IRA and all this type of stuff. And now you don't have to pay an investment advisor. So again, it's driving down the cost and making this knowledge of these financial things that used to only be available to multi-millionaires available to everybody.
No, I love that. So is AI taking into consideration socio-economic elements, political environment, challenges? Potentially that's the case, right?
All the above, yeah. So we built it not only on like social economic stuff. So we have projections and stuff going through our AI that we continuously update so that way we can make adjustments. But we also factor in behavioral analytics for you, the individual, because there's no reason, like mathematically, I could tell you the most efficient thing to do in the world. But if you don't do it, there's no reason to give you that plan. So the plans have to be adjusted to you and like what you would actually do. And so that's what we're incorporating is behavioral analytics as well for the individual.
I love that because I mean, I'm sure people are going to ask those questions, right? And then they will probably want to know that there is a human component, right? I mean, you are actively working on that. It's not just handled by robots, AI critters, right?
That is correct. Yeah, we did two things on that front. First off, we built the first technology that is actually out to the public right now for it to be more efficient for us internally to build a plan with you. So we still encourage everybody to schedule a call because we can do it very, very quickly.
Yeah.
And next year, we're going to roll out a client-facing version of the AI as well. But right now, we're only using it internally to speed up our jobs. Okay. So what typically takes a financial planner about 40 hours a year to do, we have down to about 30 to 60 minutes a year, just based on the technology that we have.
Wow.
So that's number one. Number two, I mean, these are major financial decisions that people are coming up with, like buying homes and all that type of stuff. And based on our research, about 70% of people, even younger in the demographic that we work with, 20 to 40-year-olds, about 70% still want to deal with a person when they're coming up with that big decision. And so we know that. That's why we offer the financial experts that you can call. And then as you're tracking your plan over time, that's where it's like automation. Just tell me that I'm doing the right thing, like that I'm saving according to my plan, and let me know if I need to make any changes based on economic stuff or anything like that. And then if they run across another major decision, schedule a call, we'll go through, make adjustments with you, and then go from there.
Yeah, no, that's great. Plus, you're dealing with an audience that's young enough. I mean, it's the perfect audience to be using this type of technology and being open to it. They're born with it, right? So that would work. So you give people a 14-day free trial, right? Because I think that would help. How does that work?
So we primarily did that because the feedback that we were getting from people is I want to be able to sign up and I want to be able to talk to someone and make sure that this is what I need and that it does put everything together. Because there's a lot of websites out there that are like, put all your finances together in one spot. And then you sign up
Yeah.
for them and it's like, open up this investment account. And that's all they care about. Investments, investments, investments. Like, well, that's not really looking at my entire profile of debt. So we did it for 14 days because that gives everybody that signs up the ability to talk to us before they actually pay anything. And because our calendars, they should be open for, within a 2-week span that you should be able to have openings to talk to people. And so that's why we do that is it's just, unfortunately for us, a lot of financial services, like I said, they offer you the world and then you get in and it's like, they're just pushing one type of product on you and that's it. So
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, like I was
that's
just
always.
on one. Yeah, I was just on one. They were saying how that's like active financial management and manage all your finances, and all it was is you sign into this profile and they're pushing credit cards on you.
Oh,
Like,
yes, that's right. You have to be so very careful. Yeah. Plus, I think
mhm,
what's very important is people have access to a platform, right? We can check on a regular basis. We don't need to
mhm.
make an appointment with you to make sure that they know what's going on. It always take into consideration all the various components they had to enter within the system so that it is accurate with the right projections, and the return is generally pretty good, right?
Yeah, what typically people do on our platform is they build their profile, they sign up, build their profile.
Yeah.
Most of them will actually schedule a call before they even attempt to build their first plan, just because there's a lot of question marks. So let it
Yeah.
be student loans, investments, whatever it is. They just want to have questions that they want answers to.
Mm-hmm.
And so we build a plan with them, then they implement it. And it's not a budgeting app. So you don't go in like everyday expenses, like all that type of stuff. Like we don't really care about that. We care like, hey, your plan said this. And if you do like this stuff to your investments and your debt and so on and so forth, this is where you will go. And this is when you hit your goals. So most of the time people log in like once a month and once every 2 months and update like the balances on their retirement accounts, update their transactions to show that they're doing it, to make sure that they're following their plans, to see if there's any adjustments that they should be making with the AI. You can link your accounts. Unfortunately, a lot of financial service companies don't allow you to link, especially on the debt side.
Mm-hmm.
But you can link the accounts as well, and it automatically updates those accounts. And so typically people log in like once every month or two just to update everything. And then, once a year, maybe shoot us an email, just, hey, touch and base. Is there anything I need to change like drastically? And it's like, no. Or if they have a major life event, it's like, hey, I'm buying a house or I'm having a child or I'm getting married. It's like, yeah, like schedule a call or yeah, we'll make an adjustment.
Okay.
So that's their own personal life. Now, on the
Right.
economic side, if there's big news, then we send out emails and then that's when we encourage people to schedule calls. Like right now, there's a lot going on with student loans and the whole
Yeah.
SAVE program getting taken down at this, like the court and everything like that. So when we send those updates out, like we're flooded with phone calls right now because people are trying to figure out
Um,
what the hell they're trying to do with their student loans, right?
yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's typically the process of how we work with people.
Yeah, no, that's great. I mean, it sounds like wonderful. So, I'm going to ask you a few questions about your experience as well. But before I go there, how can people help you? Because we're going to share this obviously on LinkedIn, on YouTube. What is it that you need the most right now?
Right now, it's just what every company needs, right? Users. One, obviously, because we're a business, so we're trying to grow. But two, it's more and more data. The more data we get to, the better the algorithms get refined, and the more data we
Mm,
get and whatnot. And so our big thing is just getting out in front of as many people as we want or as we can
yeah.
and signing up more and more people. So like right now we have something like $2.8 billion of assets and debts being managed on the platform.
Okay.
And it's like, can we, in 2025, 10x that? Can we get that to 28 billion? Not only because of the data that we're getting, but because as a business, it allows us to continue to grow, obviously.
Right.
And for me, it's the whole reason why we started the company, right? We get to help people, like,
Yeah.
trying to get this information into their hands. So as many, 20 to 40-year-olds that we can get, that's what we're trying to do, is just get in front of as many people as we want, especially on LinkedIn, because there's so many professionals
Yes.
on LinkedIn. Like we
Yes.
work,
Yes.
yeah. We initially started with like grad school students. So like doctors, PAs, SLPs, MBAs, like that's really where we drove in on our niche. And then we've expanded outside of that. So If you guys need help, let us know. We're around.
Okay, perfect. That's great. We'll make sure to communicate that. So, on a personal standpoint, I always like to ask my guests to talk about some of their challenges, how they overcame those challenges, what it is that you learned, and share something that would be inspirational.
Yeah, it's hard. I encourage everybody to do this. First of all, being a founder and entrepreneur, like the ups and downs that you go through, it's unbelievable. Like,
Yeah,
one day you'll be like, in the morning you'll be like, oh, look at all these things, all these people signing up. And then in the afternoon, it's just like, wham, something happens. And it's like, boom, boom, like just up and down, up and down, up and down
yeah,
constantly. And,
yeah.
um, that's just life in general as well. So trying to figure out how to deal with that and constantly be in that positive state of mind. And I was pretty fortunate when I was younger. Like I learned investments and I wanted to go into sports, but I was actually really like captivated by like potentially being an FBI profiler. And when I was in college playing sports and working with one of our baseball team, I was actually fortunate to sit in and be trained by one of they call him the godfather of sports psychology.
Mm.
And
Who is that?
that really prompted me to start looking into behavior stuff. That's why I also incorporate behavior into the algorithm, is because
Mm.
it's like that side of the world. I
Yeah,
always tell people about financial freedom. Like there's a dollars and cents financial freedom, but more importantly, there's intangible financial freedom, how we think about money. That's so much more important than the actual dollars and cents. Like
mm.
you have to think about money correctly. And if you don't, you will never be free from it. You can have $10 million and still be
You're
stressed out of your
still.
mind
Oh,
about
I
it.
love that. That's so important what you just said because and you can see that many examples of people with billions of dollars being totally miserable.
Miserable. And then on the other side of that, you have people that are frugal as frugal could be, and they're just as miserable. So it's like,
Yeah,
unless you can mentally think about money right, have a simple system, how do you actually know what's important and factor out all the noise, like that intangible side? So, the one big learning lesson just in life in general is having a simplified system for money, which a lot of that, like I told you, I was doing a lot of research when I was in wealth management. That's what I was researching, is how to develop a simplified system, because it's more than just algorithms and stuff and AI on Fitbux. It's actually a system that I put together that's like, these are the three things you need to focus on. This is what's important. Like everything else is noise,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
And then our AI is actually built around that. And so simplify it, and then just the mental side of everything. Um, I just wish we had way more emotional awareness and mental awareness, especially in the United States. Like when I travel abroad, certain countries is a little bit more, but here it's like, really focus on that. And that's what I really like about the younger generation, especially those in their 20s. I'm seeing a major difference, and that they're really gravitating towards that type of stuff. And it really encourages me, because it's like, wow, like they're going to be able to deal with some of these ups and downs and all that type of stuff. But yeah, the ups and downs, the emotional side of it, the behavioral side of it,
yeah.
that's the biggest lesson learned.
It's a tough one. I always say you have to be emotionally strong. You have to be physically very strong because if you're not, then you cannot function. You have to have the right goals because that too is important. If it's just money, probably you won't last very long
Oh, no
because
shot at all.
right
Oh
because you're
yeah.
not part of a mission, you're not part of a movement. So also is making a difference.
Well, that's a huge point, and that's entrepreneurship or even just work in general. Like we hear from people all the time, I'm burning out, and it's
Yeah.
because they're going to work just simply for money at that point. And it's
Yes.
like, if you don't have higher meaning, especially being an entrepreneur, if you don't have that higher meaning, those when it hits, like when something negative
Oh,
happens, you might get through one or two,
you'll
but
give
you're
up.
not going further.
You'll give up. You have to have a passionate goal. I always call it the passionate goal that will allow you to get up even if you don't want to, because you know you have something that potentially will make a big difference in someone's life.
Yeah,
And
well,
that
it's
is
funny.
critical.
Like, because of my background with finance as well as engineering now as well, and I just got an offer from a major company to basically close Fitbucks, and they would give me a signing bonus of like $2 million and a $500,000 salary.
Oh my God.
Again, whenever like something negative happened, like this morning, right? I'm just making this up, but
Yeah,
something. This is actually one of the days where something negative doesn't happen. But
yeah,
like, say something negative happened this morning. I do it with my wife all the time. She'll come home from work. She'll be like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, "That job offer's looking really good right now."
yeah. I understand. I totally understand. I mean, it's a balance, but it depends on, I mean, you feel that in your soul. I really believe when it's deeply rooted in your soul, you won't be able to avoid it. It's going to come back to you. So these are decisions you have to make that can impact your overall life and outcomes, and one may not be better than the other, but it depends really on who you are.
Yep, exactly. And that's, again, I look at this all through the lens of an entrepreneur. But I said the same thing to a PT that we talked to, a physical therapist, one of our members. I said it to her 2 days ago. Like, she's been a PT for about 10 years, and she's like, I don't even want to like go anymore, because she was feeling really down on herself about some financial stuff that's happening. And I'm like, but that has nothing to do with you treating patients. And the whole reason why you went was because you loved helping people. So
Yeah.
like, if you just focus on helping people,
Yeah.
everything else will take care of itself. Like, you'll be okay because you're happy, and then you'll never know. All these opportunities will come to you.
Yeah.
Because again, just networking, like, if you're in a positive mindset, people want to work with people in a positive mindset. If you're
Yes.
negative and you're bashing something, no one's going to want to work with you. So you're not going to get opportunities. So
Yeah.
that's why I always talk about the mindset again, just getting back into that mindset.
Mindset and perspective. Yes.
Hmm.
Very
Yeah.
important. Yeah.
Yeah, but we have on the drawing board, it's actually, we have part of it engineered already in a like an MVP type of format, but I'm so huge on that we were gonna add a piece of the technology where you identify what your financial life, what you want it to be, what your health you want it to be, what your job you want it to be. And because I'm huge on visualization exercises, and like literally every morning and every night we ping you with a text message to remind you to spend like 30 seconds visualizing those three or four
Oh,
things.
I love it. I love
Yeah.
it. But you're
So
right.
that's how big I am on
And that's
that.
huge. We are energy. And when you focus on something, you're going to attract what you need to make it happen. It always works.
Exactly.
These are the universal laws of physics,
Correct. That
right?
is correct.
Yeah.
We could do an entire podcast on
I know.
that.
We can do another podcast on that. Well, that was wonderful. So, Joseph, if someone wants to get hold of you, what's the best way to do that?
Fitbux.com is the number one way.
Yeah.
We do have social media channels. We are on LinkedIn at Fitbux Official, Instagram, same thing. And then our YouTube channel is just at Fitbux. We started pushing out more and more videos actually about 6 months ago, and that's pretty active on YouTube. But those are the primary social media channels. And then of course, Fitbux.com.
Perfect. Great. So I always ask that to my guests. Do you have any parting words that you would like to share with my audience?
Yeah, when it comes to money, simplify your life. The more simple you make it, and the more you know what you're focusing on, and you're getting out all that noise, the less stress you're going to have around money. And so that's what I really stress is knowing exactly what you're doing, having that system in place. Obviously, I'm biased. I'm hoping that you guys use Fitbux, the system that we've built out with our technology. But as long as you're using something, it's better than nothing, right? So make sure you're doing something with the finances to clear your mind, get rid of all the chaos and all the noise around that, and simplify your life, and it will be much, much easier than everything else you're doing.
I love it. Great message. Thank you so much, Joseph. Really appreciate your time. What a wonderful initiative that you have here with Fitbux.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and everyone else, thank you so much for watching. Please share the story, my conversation here with Joseph, and spread it along and around your networks, because he needs help. We are here to help each other out. I think what he has is something very beneficial that can help a lot of people, maybe who start investing, who have too many components in their investment system, and we need to simplify that. I think Feedback is really a great way to make all of this happen, and do it leveraging AI, which is the future. It is now that we need to start leveraging those new technologies that are game changer. So thank you again for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It helps us out so that we can keep doing what we're doing, and we will see you next time.